The 70s were more than a decade. The sound of vinyl spinning in a sunlit living room, of summer nights, colorful cars, and the hum of a car radio that never stopped working. And for anyone who grew up back then, hearing them again is like opening a time capsule. One intro, one chorus, and suddenly you remember the room, the people, even the smell of the air.
Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone.
These are 10 songs that make every 1970s kid feel like a kid again and bring back all those memories. Number 10, Cats in the Cradle, Harry Chapin.
My child arrived just the other day. He came to the world in the usual way.
No song captures time slipping away quite like this one. Harry Chapin wrote it after his wife shared a poem about her first husband's distant father. She'd written it years before, and Chapin reworked it into lyrics, turning a private story into something millions would relate to.
And as he grew, he'd say, I'm gonna be like you, Dad.
It's the story of every parent who blinked and realized their child was grown. The son in the song keeps asking for time, and the father keeps saying, not today. Until one day, the roles reverse. The irony? When Chapin recorded it, his own son was still a baby. He later admitted the song made him think about his own priorities as his touring schedule got busier.
I said, not today, I got a lot to do. He said, that's okay.
It hit number 1 in 1974, but decades later, it hits harder. Because it's not just a song, it's a mirror. People hear it differently at 20, 40, and 60. The chorus doesn't blame, it mourns. And when that final line comes, he'd grown up just like me. You can almost feel the years rushing by.
As he hung up the phone, it occurred to me, he'd grown up just like me.
It's become a classic warning about what happens when you think you'll always have more time.
You know we'll have a good time now.
Number 9, Landslide, Fleetwood Mac. Stevie Nicks wrote Landslide while sitting in Aspen, staring at the Rocky Mountains. She was thinking about her father, her future, and the fear of change. At the time, she and Lindsey Buckingham were struggling both as a couple and as musicians, unsure if their careers would ever really take off. No band fights like Fleetwood Mac, but this song silenced them all. Even in a group known for drama and big production, Landslide is just a gentle guitar and a voice, and that's all it needs. It never topped charts, but it became something bigger. The soundtrack to growing older. Over the years, it's been covered by artists like the Smashing Pumpkins and the Chicks, each generation finding its own meaning in it.
Well, I've been afraid of changing.
When she sings, "Can I sail through the changing ocean tides?" you can feel the ache of someone realizing they can't hold on forever. It's not just about age, it's about acceptance. Every lyric feels like a deep breath before life moves on. That's why it shows up at graduations, weddings, and quiet late-night listens, anywhere people are facing change. Number 8, American Pie, Don McLean.
Long time ago, I can still remember how that music...
8.5 minutes that mourned a decade. Don McLean called it "The Day the Music Died," a reference to the 1959 plane crash that killed Buddy Holly, Ritchie Valens, and the Big Bopper. That line alone gave a name to a moment in rock history that people still use today.
So bye, Miss American Pie.
But the song became more than that. It was a eulogy for lost innocence. Through its cryptic verses, it walks through the 60s, protests, assassinations, changing music, and the feeling that something simple and hopeful had been lost along the way. The 1960s had ended in chaos and heartbreak, and American Pie became the anthem of those who'd grown up too fast.
Did you write the book of love, and do you have faith in God?
Its meaning changes as you age. What once sounded nostalgic now feels prophetic. As you get older, lines you barely noticed when you were young suddenly hit differently. Every bye-bye feels a little more final.
The land it fell on the grass, the players tried for a forward pass.
It's one of those songs people argue about, interpret, and still sing at the top of their lungs. Proof that some questions in music never really need clear answers.
Bye, Miss American Pie.
Number 7, Fire and Rain, James Taylor. James Taylor's voice always sounded like comfort. Until this song. Fire and Rain was written after the suicide of his childhood friend Suzanne and his own battles with depression and addiction.
Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone.
He wrote it in pieces over time, weaving together personal losses, time and mental health treatment, and the struggle of starting over. He poured it all into a melody so fragile it feels like it might break mid-line.
But I always thought that I'd see you again.
The arrangement is simple, gentle guitar, and that calm voice carrying very heavy words. When he sings, "I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend," you don't just hear it, you believe it. It sounds like someone speaking honestly, not performing.
Seen lonely times when I could not find a friend.
It's pain wrapped in warmth, and it's one of those songs that makes you cry even if you don't know why. It became one of Taylor's defining tracks, played on radio for decades and used in films and TV. Whenever Quiet Heartbreak needs a soundtrack. For many listeners, it was one of the first times they heard mental health and grief put into such plain human language. Number 6, The Way We Were, Barbra Streisand. Few songs can stop a room like this one. Written for the film of the same name, it became Barbra Streisand's signature and every person's personal heartbreak. The movie was about love lost, but the song was about remembering the moments that made it worth it. Even people who never saw the film know the song.
Added pictures of the smile.
Its opening line, "Memories light the corners of my mind," became one of the most quoted lyrics of the decade. It's the kind of line that instantly paints a picture. Old photos, faded places, people you haven't seen in years. It hit number 1 on Billboard and won the Oscar for Best Original Song, along with multiple other awards.
Can it be that it was all so simple then?
But its real power is emotional, not technical. It's the sound of remembering what you can't get back. The slow strings, the careful way Streisand stretches certain words. It all feels like someone trying not to fall apart while looking back. That's why it still shows up at reunions, tributes, and farewell moments. It gives people a way to say goodbye without saying it directly. Number 5, If You Leave Me Now, Chicago. This one hurts in the gentlest way. Peter Cetera's voice is pure ache, a love song disguised as a goodbye.
If you leave me now, you'll take away the biggest power.
At the time, Chicago were known for their horn-driven rock sound, and this softer, string-heavy ballad was a shift from their earlier records. He wrote it quickly, thinking it might just be another filler ballad. Instead, it hit number 1 worldwide, winning 2 Grammys and becoming their first major international hit. It helped push Chicago into a new phase where they became masters of the power ballad, not just the jazz rock band they started as. Soft rock at its softest, but that's why it worked. It didn't try to be cool, it tried to be honest. The lyrics are simple and direct, which makes them easy to relate to when you're going through a breakup. And every time the horns swell, you can feel the lump in your throat that won't go away. It's the kind of song that makes people stop talking when it comes on. Number 4, to Annie's song, John Denver. John Denver was riding a ski lift when inspiration hit him. In 10 minutes, he wrote Annie's song as a love letter to his wife. He later said the scenery and feeling of being in the mountains made the melody and words come almost all at once. It's one of those melodies that feels like it's always existed.
You fill up my senses.
Simple, pure, infinite. The song is built on a short, repeating melody that rises and falls gently, matching the calm emotion of the lyrics. It topped charts in the US and UK, but what made it last wasn't success. It was sincerity. It didn't sound like it was trying to impress anyone. It sounded like someone speaking directly to the person they love.
Let me love you. Let me give my life.
When Denver sings, "You fill up my senses," you can hear the sound of love without ego. No clever wordplay, no complicated metaphors, just honest feeling. And maybe that's why it still feels like spring. People still use it at weddings and anniversaries decades later as a simple musical way to say, "This is how you make me feel."
Come fill
Number 3. Without You, Harry Nilsson. Nilsson didn't even write it. It was originally by the British band Badfinger, but his version made it eternal. The original was a strong album track, but Nilsson heard it at a party and thought it had the potential to be something much bigger if sung differently.
You always smile, but in your eyes your sorrow shows.
He heard it once, went home, and sang it as if his life depended on it. And somehow you can tell. The production builds from a quiet piano to a huge dramatic chorus, giving him space to stretch his voice to its limits. It hit number 1 worldwide, and decades later, it still breaks hearts.
Can't live if living is without you.
It's been covered many times, including a famous version by Mariah Carey, but Nilsson's take remains the standard. Nilsson's voice cracks at the edges, as if he's holding back tears he doesn't want you to hear. When you've lost someone or a relationship has ended, this song says, "I can't handle this," in a way that feels completely real. Number 2. Bridge Over Troubled Water, Simon and Garfunkel. Their last great anthem together, and their most beautiful. Paul Simon wrote it, starting from a simple gospel-inspired phrase, but Art Garfunkel's angelic voice turned it into something heavenly. Simon originally imagined someone else singing it, which shows how much he trusted Garfunkel with the most delicate material. It's both prayer and farewell. The lyrics promise comfort and support. Like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. And the music rises from a quiet piano to a powerful choir-like finale. The song swept the Grammys, sold millions, and marked the end of the duo's partnership just as they were at their peak. When Garfunkel sings "Sail on Silver Girl," you can almost hear Simon saying goodbye behind the piano. The line was reportedly inspired by changes in Simon's personal life, but it took on a wider meaning for listeners. It's grace under heartbreak, the perfect bridge between an ending and everything that came after. Even now, it's used in moments of grief, comfort, and farewell all over the world.
I will ease your mind like a
Number 1. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Elton John. A song about walking away from the fantasy. Elton was at the height of fame when he recorded it, selling out arenas, wearing dazzling costumes, and living the rock star life. But deep down, he wanted home, not Hollywood.
When are you gonna come down? When are you going to lie?
The lyrics talk about leaving behind the yellow brick road, the fantasy path, to go back to something real.
Now you can't hold me forever. Didn't sign up for you.
Bernie Taupin's lyrics told that truth. Maybe you'll get a replacement, there's plenty like me to be found. It's a rare moment where a superstar admits they're replaceable in the eyes of the industry.
You get a replacement. Plenty like me to be found.
It wasn't written to be a hit, but it became one. A top 10 classic that still makes crowds cry. The song's mix of big arrangement and vulnerable words is what keeps it powerful. It's the sound of innocence fading, of realizing that every dream comes with a cost. And that's why it still matters. Because everyone grows up eventually. Whether you heard it as a kid, a teenager, or an adult, it speaks to that moment when you realize you can't live in a fantasy forever, but you can still carry the magic with you. So here's to the crackle of vinyl, the smell of summer rain, and the songs that still make us close our eyes. Because for a few minutes, we're kids again. The world may have moved on, but as long as these songs play, the 70s are never really gone. If this journey through the soundtrack of your past brought something back to you, tap like, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who lived these songs with you. Let me know in the comments which 70s track instantly takes you back, and I'll see you in the next one.